let's talk about that. What kind of coach are you? Like, it feels like you're a player's coach, but you hold a lot of accountability.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely a player coach. I want kids to be comfortable. I want kids to be who they are, but be a part of the system. Right. The system is the system, and the standard doesn't change. So accountability is key, because what I'm preparing kids for is, everybody's not going to play college football. I'm preparing fathers, I'm preparing husbands, I'm preparing decent citizens. And being a decent citizen, being a good father, being a good husband is about being accountable and having an understanding that you have to answer to somebody sometime, right? And you can be who you are, and you can be yourself, and you can have individuality and all this great stuff and still have to answer to somebody, and still have some requirements that you have to meet, and that's the standard that we set in the program.
Tell me about this job. What made this job different? What made you want this job?
You can win here. I wanted a legacy program. I didn't want to take a job where you would have to struggle. You would have to fight for every single thing in order for you to be successful. I wanted somewhere where they had the recognition, right? When you come up 371 and you see that Springhill Lumberjack water tower, the legacy. You know the 2 state championships. The legacy coaches, the Travis Fowers and those guys who have been in this program that have, made Springhill, North Webster what it is. The Devin Whites of the world, who are just those enigmatic figures in this area, and to continue to build on that and to hopefully create some more.
You being a guy that's not from here, being an out-of-town guy, being a Shreveport guy, how important is it for you to get those former players, those former coaches, the legacy people that are from here, bought into what you're trying to do here?
I think you embrace them. I think it's them understanding that I'm not trying to come here and reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to come in and gut all of this history and all of the great things that make this place, but to enhance it and to modernize it, so to speak. A lot of the things that have been done or that are being done here have been being done here since the 80s, right? Since it was Springhill. And I just want to come in and modernize it and bring it into the current century and do some things different, and just really get it back to catering to the kids. They're the lifeblood of the program, and you want to make sure that they're in the program, engaged and enjoying it and feeding into it and not just taking from it. We want them to feed into it as well.
When you got a guy like Devin White, who's been an All-Pro, been a Pro Bowler, went to school here, how important is it to try to get kids, a guy like that, to come back here so your kids can see what you can accomplish? Well,
I don't think it's just Devin. One of our assistant coaches was Devin's teammate, and they see Coach Lay every day. They see Dallas every day, and they know what you can accomplish from here, right? And him being an extension, him being a connection to Devin and to those years where they were state championship contenders, right? The first under the North Webster banner. They know what it takes. Coach Lay makes it very apparent every time I see him interact with the kids that this is what it takes and this is what's required. And so those guys are still around here. A lot of those former players are still in town, and they're connected to the program. When we had the Meet the Coach night, a lot of those guys were there. They wanted to hear what I had to say, and they wanted to hear what they could expect from the kids. And I was very methodical with my words to make sure that I didn't create any false promises. And the things that I told them are the things that they can expect. We're going to cater to the kid. We're going to love on the kid. We're going to provide for the kid, and I'm going to hold them accountable. Right. There is going to be a standard that when they see those kids come off this hill, come on that field, they're going to know what to expect.
You've been a head coach before, but when you drive into town and the Taco Bell has a sign for you.
Oh, man.
How cool is that, knowing that you're coming into a community that really gets behind this program?
It's what you look for. It's what you look for. And, no shade to my hometown schools, right? But there's so many of them. Right. And everybody's allegiance is attached to somewhere else. And there's very few places in Shreveport where everybody gets behind it, because the kids can go anywhere, right? And so there's really hard to build that undying, unwavering allegiance. And coming up through Cullen and then hitting Springhill and driving by the Taco Bell and seeing my name on it, man, it was exciting because that people are watching, and with that comes great expectations, and they have an expectation for the program that I strive to meet.
I think that's kind of awesome. Like, and you're right, because like you could have a neighbor out by Pines Road, that goes to Byrd, and then another neighbor goes to Cap Street, and another one goes to Huntington.
Where I live, one kid next door, they go to Evangel. My next door neighbor, they went to Magnet High. Like, so everybody and that's just my cul-de-sac. That's just in my cul-de-sac, right? And then you have the kids that are walking up the street to Huntington. Then you have the kids that are getting at the end of Buncombe, they're going to Byrd, right? So everybody's going everywhere, and they're in the same neighborhood. And it's hard to build that love when everybody's going anywhere, right? So I know that the kids that are in Springhill, Cotton Valley, Shongaloo, Sarepta, they're coming to North Webster. And my goal is to make sure that those middle schoolers that are coming up come to North Webster, and those elementary kids, they buy into the purple, black, and silver, and all they want to do is play for the Knights. And that's what I realized at North DeSoto, that when you had kids in the back of the field and everybody's wearing red, white, and blue, and there's no desire to go anywhere, that's what we want to build here. And that's why we have to extend in those elementary schools. We have to get into those middle schools. We have to show love to the community that shows up for us every week, because these people travel. I was watching the game before I even got the job, and there were more people on the visitor side than it was on the home side. And that's what those kids respond better when they look and see that people are behind them and they're going to ride for them. And from everything that I've seen in the short time that I've been here, they are ready, they're excited, and they are optimistic about the new changes.
The time in North DeSoto, you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching under Coach Dunn, being around that program, being around that community, that it feels like they're really behind the team as well. What kinds of things did you learn being assistant down there the last couple of years?
Unwavering support, unwavering, unfiltered love of North DeSoto. Like, that Stonewall community loves their kids. And when you look up and everything doesn't go well, like, we had two really good, fantastic years that really set a standard and a bar for every kid that comes after to reach, right? But even when we lost the game, they weren't on social media bashing the coaches. They weren't fussing and cussing in the bleachers. They were there. They were shedding tears with the boys. They were right there next to them, holding their hand and supporting them and patting on the back and saying, hey, man, we're going to get back at it. And that's what again, as a coach, when there's so many avenues to tear things down, that community showed me that it doesn't have to be always negative. Like, when something bad happens, you don't have to turn your back on them. You can stand right next to them. But I think that's the transparency that Dunn allowed. Dads were in the stands, moms were in the stands. They watched practice, so they knew the work that we put in every day. So for it just to not go right on a Friday night, it wasn't due to a lack of preparation. It just wasn't our night, and we just sucked at the 3 or 4 times it wasn't our night. State championship, quarterfinal game, semifinal game, and blasted Northwood. So that was, the three L's you take, or against really primetime games, man. And we just and they've showed so much love to me leaving, and that made me feel really good that I know that I imparted a legacy in just my short time there, because they realized that from the time I got out my car, I was there. And I was loving on the kids, and I was sprinting up and down the field, and I was loving on those kids and showing them through their actions that I appreciated them, because they made us look good. We don't do anything. All we can do is coach them up and hope that when it's Friday night that they make us look good. And I wanted to celebrate them.
Talk about running up and down the sidelines. You got more energy than any head coach I've ever covered.
Well, I have to, now that I have back in the big chair, I'm trying to decide I'm going to turn it down. You got to be, somebody has to be the stoic one, right? And, and I'm looking at, I was watching the SEC Women's Championship game, right? No, it was Parkway. Parkway's champion, the semi game where she hit the buzzer beater, and I'm watching Gloria and the ball going up, and she has her arms folded, and the basket goes in, everybody goes crazy, and she just puts her on, and she shakes her head. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. Like, you know, Kenny at North Dakota, I remember his dad told me, he said, Coach, he said, I don't know what you're doing. I said, what you mean, Big Kenny? He said, his grandmother called me, and she saw him score a touchdown, come off the sideline, and dance with you. And she said she didn't even recognize her kid. That is not his character. And she said, he said that whatever you're doing with my kid, he is growing into himself. And he is becoming who, you know, he is showing flashes of a personality that we never saw from him. That's the legacy. You know, I want kids to enjoy it, man. And that's what I told the boys the first time I met with them. Let's get back to enjoying being here. Like, this is supposed to be the place where you can put all of the stuff outside the room and put it in the trash, or just table it for a while and come out and do what you love. You know, so that's what I'm basing my foundation on. Man, love being here. You know, that's from the coaches on down. You know, love being here, dedicate yourself to being here, and do things the right way.
So, since the last time we talked on camera, you've had a blended family now.
Yeah.
So like being dad, 5 kids.
It's fun, man. It's fun. You know, every day is an adventure. I can put it like that. You got 5 kids, 2 girls, 3 boys, 5 different personalities. You know, the twins, Kaysen is the stone face. Cadence is the life of the party. Lennox is the jokester. Hollis is the lovey-dovey. Cameron is going into that preteen phase where she doesn't care about anything, right? And so it's navigating those things and blending of, you know, and my wife does a great job. She does a great job keeping it together, you know, supporting me, so running the house. You know, I'm just a cook. You know, I come home and I do the cooking, you know, and she handles everything else, you know, so we got to find balance, you know, and it's just, you know, we realized that the house will never be clean again. You know, it's blocks and toys and clothes all over everywhere, you know, but that's a labor of love. You know, that's a labor of love, and we know that there's a lot of love in the Wilson house, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and they are, you know, Hollis was telling me last night, he said, so Dad, we're not Griffins anymore, huh? I said, no, son, we're Knights now. You know, we got to put our red, white, and blue in the bin. You know, we got to pull out the black, purple, and silver, you know, because we're going to change it up a little bit. And she's like, okay, I like purple. I say, hell, I do too. You know, I do too. So, you know, it's exciting, man.
It's changed your life, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you had a little girl before.
Absolutely. You know, Cameron changed me for the better.
Right.
You know, she put a lot of things into perspective. You know, Hollis and Lennox coming with Lauren really gave me those sons that I never had. And then these twins, man, they are a testament to my wife and I's relationship. You know, went back from college, and we said that we were going to have a kid together when we were, you know, young college kids. And then God said, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna give you 2. You know, and so, and those twins are amazing, man. You know, watching them progress every day, and you know, Cadence is doing the wave, and I saw Kaysen wave back at me last night, and just, you know, they're starting to adopt their own personalities. They still don't really like each other yet. You know, they not spending a lot of time with.
They will.
Yeah, hopefully so. They don't entertain each other at all. You know, you'll catch them when nobody's bothering them. They run through the blinds together. You know, if nobody's paying them any attention, they'll go into the corner and then they'll feed off of each other. But if somebody else is around, they do not fool with each other at all. They will not. They will go through one of each other to get to one of us. You know, so but the big kids love them. They are still in the, oh my God, these new babies phase. You know, and they're a year old now. So they are fighting each other over them. They are all lay in the playpen with the twins, and the twins tear up the house, and they lay right there with them and they watch them. So it's cool. It's you know, it's exciting. It's a lot of kids. It's a lot of noise.
You got to build a culture in your house when you got that many kids.
Yeah.
How important is it to build a family culture here with these kids?
It's love and accountability. It's love and accountability. That doesn't change. You know, I think if you're doing it right in your home, you know, you're embracing your wife, you're embracing your kids, and then you come here, and all of these coaches have wives and kids, right? And it's the same thing. You know, you're gonna love them, and you can't love them and let them abuse you either.
Right.
You know, and I've been in places where the kids take for granted everything that the coaches do for them, and they abuse them, and that's why coaches burn out, and that's why coaches leave. I'm not going to allow that to happen. Kids are going to have to be held accountable. I went through this morning, and I started organizing the lockers. I want the lockers this way. And I told my running back when he came in, I said, go look at your locker. This is what I want it to look like. And they know that when I say that, then if it's not like that, then there's some ramifications for that. And it's something as simple as that. Dunn was really big on that. The little things, making sure the little things are done right. The little things are done right around your house, around your facility. Then on Friday, the little things are what win you football games, because the little things are the things that get you beat.
Right.
So the little things are the things that get you beat. So we're going to force and enforce the little things in the building, so that they don't realize that on Friday night that the little things matter. We get so caught up in the scheme. We get so caught up in the players that we don't take a lot of time and focus on those small things. Mm-hmm. Something as simple as where you lined up, not jumping off sides. Looking to the sideline to get the signal. Those things, we get caught up in it. And so we got to force that, and we got to reinforce that in the building on the way we do things every day. And once they understand that everything is going to have a process, everything has a place, then they'll understand that when the ball starts flying around, that everything has a place.
Right. I saw a video today, and when you were talking about the culture and holding the kids accountable, I saw Kirk Herbstreit posted a video, and it was a basketball player. I think it was an NIT guy, because it was posted today. And it looks like somebody got mad, dumped over a trash can on their way off the court. He goes over, he sets the trash can up, he starts picking up the trash. That's what you want from these kids, that kind of thing. Right?
I want them to be able to control their emotions so that we're not throwing trash cans. Right. And I want them to embrace the grind in the summer, and we're going to make the summer uncomfortable for them, so that when things do get rolling and everything matters in the fall, that they're able to control themselves, right? But you do want those kids that will go behind their teammate, pick their trash up, and then go tell them, hey man, we're not going to do that. Right. Championship teams are player-led teams. I don't want to be the bad guy all the time.
No.
I want my coaches. I don't want to be the bad guy all the time. I want guys to hold themselves accountable. I want to teach them what they need to know, and I want some sophomores, some juniors, some seniors to step up and say, all right, this how you want it. Let's do it like that. Like, I don't want to fill a get right list up. I don't want to do bear crawls. I don't want to do three-legged dogs. So man, let's just do what this man asked us to do. And if they do that, man, that's fine. Like, I don't want them to like me. I don't want to be the most liked guy in the building. I want them to have a bit of disdain for me because of me holding them accountable, because I might be the only person in their life that does. Right? But I know that when they're done, just like the previous 15 years, they're going to appreciate me in the long run. It might not be today. It might not be when they graduate. But 5 years from now, man, I remember having a kid from Green Oaks, and we saw each other at the gas station. He said, Coach, he said, man, I apologize. I say, for what? He said, man, I gave you hell. I know you was fresh out of college, and we didn't think you knew nothing, but all you fussed about was us doing stuff right. He said, now that I'm grown and a father with kids, I see exactly what you mean. He said, because now everything I do, somebody's watching. I said, that's all I ask.
Yep.
And that's all I ask from y'all. Just understand that what we're doing now, we're playing a long game.
Right.
It's just not right now.
It's not your first head coaching job.
Mm-mm.
How much did you learn in plain dealing that's going to help you here?
Plain dealing made me. North DeSoto validated me. And that's the best way I could put it. You don't know anything until you get it. And I know, and I told Dunn this on my, as we were getting ready, because I kept him abreast of everything that was going on. And I told him, I said, what I learned from you was that I was on the right track. We were doing things the right way. The kids were bought in. We never lost a kid for grades. We never lost a kid. We only lost 1 or 2 kids for discipline. And that was very early on. But everybody was bought in, and everybody was moving in the same direction. And when I got to North DeSoto, and the things that Coach Dunn and those guys were building were the things that we were trying to build. And so it made me feel good that, okay, I was on the right track. I know what to do. And so that's why when this job came available and they offered me the job and I accepted it, it wasn't the shock of it anymore. It was, okay, you get another shot. You get another shot to go and do it the way you want to do it, the way you know is right, the way that the kids will appreciate, and the way that, you can gain some success from. And, and not just for me, but for the community, I want the whole community behind it. I want the whole community to support me. I told them that in the parent meeting, even when it ain't going right, support me. Because at the end of the day, it's about the kid. And if the kid is happy, and if the kid is challenged, and if you see the growth in your child, then we're doing it right. It's not going to always translate on the field. I'm not promising you state championships. Like I'm not foolish enough to do that. That is very, very hard. And being on that carpet 2 years ago and experiencing that and being overwhelmed, I want to be back because I know I can handle it differently. But it's hard, and it's kid. It ain't the coaches, it's the kid. And if we can get the kids on the right track and moving in the same direction, it's achievable because it's been done. They got 2 banners hanging up in that stadium, from 52 and 85, that I know it can be done in this town.
Right.
But you need the whole town. You can't have people wanting to leave. You can't have people, sending their kid elsewhere, not naming those schools, but they're going elsewhere. We want everybody that's supposed to be here to be here. And if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. I don't want people halfway in, halfway out. Right. I want people here, and I want people bought in 100%. And wherever they can find a way to contribute and to make this place what they always wanted it to be, that's what we want. That's what this coaching staff wants, and I know that's what the kid needs.
What would you say to the North Webster supporters about what they're going to see on a week in and week out basis on Friday nights out there on that field?
You're going to see accountability. You're going to see respect shown both ways. You're going to see kids excited to be out there and flying around and representing the communities well. That's a big thing about this town, that you're putting 5 communities in one school. And even though it's been 15 years, there's still adjustment because people love their home school. People loved Springhill. People loved Cotton Valley. Coach Dennis at Green Oaks that I worked under, he was a Sarepta Horner. He always told us about his years at Sarepta because Sarepta took him to Grambling and then took him to Canada, right? So this community has plenty of legacy, plenty of stories, and we want to build on that. It's not just about me. It's not about these coaches. It's about these kids continuing to build a legacy that all of these communities have been excited about and that they love. And it's just under that North Webster banner that they're going to continue to build on those legacies and give them something to be proud of. That's really what it's about. With the auxiliaries, they say they travel with about 150 extra kids every Friday. Come on, man. Like, it ain't just about these boys. It's about the band and the flag line and the cheerleaders and everybody being in the same page and everybody moving in the same direction. And I told the principal when I interviewed that I'm a man of the people. I'm not just going to be in the field house hiding. Everybody's going to know who I am, and I show love to everybody. And wherever they need me to assist, then I'm willing to assist and to help build the culture that they want this school to be a part of. And I'm just the figurehead. I'm just going to be the most recognizable person now because I'm the football coach. And we know that the football team is the front porch of the school, right? And I'm the first thing that they'll see, and I'm the first thing that they'll hear. But I'm not above serving, and I just want to serve this community, and I want to serve these kids, and I just want to be whatever they want me to be on this campus, as long as they allow me to be here.